Hello, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the business case for Polkadot with myself, Irina, and I'm very excited to have on the podcast this morning, amazing team, Mr. Daniel Au, founder and CEO of Tectonic Technology Innovation Company, and Jonathan Leung, who is COO of the company, and they are dialing in from Hong Kong. And John has participated in the PBA Hong Kong chapter. As you already know, we had a few guests from PBA Hong Kong. So we're continuing diving into the business landscape of Hong Kong, and we're continuing learning more about amazing founders and amazing projects that we have in Polkadot ecosystem. So it is my pleasure to bring Daniel on stage and John. Hello, Daniel and John. How are you today?
Hello, Irina.
Hi, doing well, guys. Good, thank you.
Yeah.
It's great to have you.
Me.
Daniel, can you please tell us about your journey? How did you start blockchain business? Why Web3 is attractive for you? And why Polkadot?
Thank you, Irina. Thank you to have me. And hi, I'm Daniel Au from Hong Kong. Actually, I have in financial industry for more than 20 years. Back to 2017 to 2018, when the Bitcoin price is just less than 2,000 US dollar. I took a fintech course, and during the course, I can find the blockchain and Bitcoin, where it's mentioned. At that moment, I believe it is the future, right? As decentralization is what human needs, and as the most expensive thing in the world is trust, so a trustless platform. Thus, I strongly believe Web3 and blockchain is the future. So we set up TTI, that means a Tectonic, right? To build the first blockchain platform to protect copyrights in Hong Kong. Afterwards, we focus on DID application development, like VDocs and our personas developer, Tectonic.io. Yeah, John?
Yep, John.
Great. Thanks, Daniel. So for myself, again, my name is John, and I really got into Web3 space starting in 2015 when I began to learn about cybersecurity, and my first touch in it was with Bitcoin. Actually, my first project that I worked on was in 2018 in Hong Kong, and I was working on a cybersecurity project actually for consulting for an ICO outside of Hong Kong, but the people there wanted the consulting firm I was working for to help them out with some of the security review because a lot of the people who had been involved early on in the crypto space and in blockchain were actually based in Hong Kong at that time. So for me, the most interesting thing for Web3 is specifically the mechanisms it has for providing verified data sets. And this creates pretty unique new opportunities to secure your data. So that goes back to my interest right now in the projects that I'm working on. I'm looking at trying to build up projects that are more user-friendly, and that I see there's a lot more projects coming out that create real-world use cases for blockchain. And I'm very passionate about trying to drive adoption of blockchain use cases in day-to-day life. Thanks.
Thank you, John. And I wanted to ask you about the team. So how does the team look like right now? How did you meet each other? How did you get together? And of course, John, then I would like to dive into your experience with PBA more. Daniel, please, over to you.
Yeah. Actually, besides John and I, we have Jack, our software engineer, and he worked for TTI since inception. Okay, and we have Sam, our CPO. He is very experienced in the digital marketplace, product testing, compliance platform, and the enterprise solutions. Actually, this is only one reason we work together. We all believe in Web3. We believe that it can to make a positive and destructive changes in the internet and for the human habits and behaviors. Anything you want to add, John?
Yeah, absolutely. So the most exciting thing, actually, I think Daniel shared just now about our team too, is actually Jack is based in UK right now. So Jack originally started out working with the team in Hong Kong, but he's also moved to UK since then. And I think that really speaks about the Web3 spirit, right? We're about a global team that works together, and it's also something that creates flexibility and opportunity for people to work together, whether the circumstances or where they need to be, in order to build out this common vision that we have for Web3 adoption.
John, and why did you decide to join Polkadot Blockchain Academy? How was your experience? And also, why Hong Kong? Like, why did you decide? Of course, you're based in Hong Kong, right? But apart from that, what's the environment like in Hong Kong? Because a lot of our viewers, we have many people tuning in, guys. Thank you. Good morning. Thanks, community. And Hong Kong, for me, is very community-driven place. It's some sort of magical environment from my personal experience. It's just, there is no other place like Hong Kong, just based on the energy, probably feng shui, architecture. But in terms of technology, community, adoption, what's your experience? How was the PBA, and where is this all going and developing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was really excited that PBA chose to come to Hong Kong. Actually, before I was in Hong Kong, I was actually working in San Jose for a little bit. And at that time, I was looking at PBA's Berkeley cohort. And so when they came to Hong Kong, I was really excited to have the opportunity to be able to take part in the program. And I think PBA made a really good choice to come to Hong Kong because it's kind of a place that has been quite central to a lot of the developments in the blockchain and crypto space. But a lot of times it does fall a little bit under the radar of sometimes what people notice. But as you mentioned, Hong Kong is a very dynamic environment, very dynamic city. It's a very international city. It's a city that has a lot of talent globally attracted to coming to Hong Kong because it's a city that it's just really safe and comfortable to live in Hong Kong, and it's got a lot to offer. In terms of the community, it's a place that really values. It's an interesting place because on one hand, it's a large city in the sense that there's a lot of different things happening, but at the same time, it's also very tight knit because the people who are involved in their areas, they really are close together. So actually, this one of the more unique things about setting up a project in Hong Kong is that it's very easy to very quickly break into different communities and be able to reach out to them in order to really tap into different people's expertise, tap into even different financial opportunities for investment and so forth. For myself, when I first came to Hong Kong on a 218 project, that was really what excited me about it. There was, of course, the ease of also coming into this kind of city because it's English speaking. So I grew up in US, so my Chinese was still, work in progress. So it's pretty good to come in as an easy way to work on different projects here. But at the same time, it was really good because a lot of the friends that I made in 218, now they're working in Dubai, they're working on other different kind of crypto blockchain projects globally. I'm still in touch with them. And for PBA to come here really adds just another element for the journey that I've been on. And it's really, really great that the PBA community was able to tap into this really dynamic community that has been built up in Hong Kong over time and also extended out globally.
Thank you, John. And how was your experience during the academy? Like, what were the challenges? What were the exciting things? And who did you meet from the mentors, from other students? Like, what's really like for, message for future founders who want to join founders track or technical track? What can they expect?
Yeah, it's really the biggest thing that you're able to get through PBA is meeting the people, right? And being not only to go beyond a screen name and actually seeing these people in person. And of course, PBA has a lot. What Polkadot brought in a whole list of some of the brightest people and the top people involved in the ecosystem. Of course, most famous being Dr. Gavin Wood. But just being able to directly spend a few weeks directly deep diving, interacting with everyone around the world, and seeing how they've been using Polkadot to build out projects in their own country, and also for some of the more mature projects, seeing how they've been able to grow their projects through the community. That's really the huge value I see from PBA, both from technical and founders track. I was in the founders track, but we were able to also interact a lot with the engineers, and I've been able to learn a lot more from them, and so much more that even right now, as I'm even after 2 months after the program, I'm still in contact with them, and getting feedback from them on our own project, and they have all these different ideas to really challenge and accelerate the growth of the project, and also been really helpful to see what they've been working on too, to see what the opportunities are out there outside of just Asia, but also seeing if the same challenges that we have in Asia apply to other places, or what we can learn from each of our own journeys.
Amazing. And on this note, I would like to dive deeper into your project, and I'm going to bring Daniel on stage. And Daniel, I want you to tell us a little bit more about your business case and what are the key business cases that led you to build in Polkadot ecosystem. How does Polkadot architecture, technology benefit your project? So in simple words, why Polkadot?
Yeah, fine. Thank you. Irina, actually, for good blockchain, we need a secure, flexible, and scalable, right? Polkadot has the features, and especially for the development of DID, right? If we would like to develop DID, security is the most important. And for DID, there's a lot of applications for DID, and so the flexibility and scalability is very important for us. So for that, I think for the tokenization process, I think it is very important for us to use tokens, and in order to verify and audit the transactions, for the decentralized network to do such kind of distributed decision making. Yeah. And also, for smart contracts to automate and enforce transparent and secure operations. So we choose Polkadot.
John, do you have anything to add to why Polkadot for you, especially after the experience in PBA and interacting with other ecosystem projects, parachains, like perhaps some comments on the community spirit?
So one of the more exciting things about actually being able to go through PBA is just to really experience, as you mentioned, just how tight-knit the community for Polkadot is, and how willing they are to offer out their support and help for different things. People are just really open to sharing all the resources and learning they have. In particular, shout out to, I think as a group, for all PBA, we really really appreciate William from Talisman, and he was really just there all the way for both groups, both tracks, right? We had the guys from the founders team and also the engineering team, and William was there all the time, providing all the support to everyone involved. I mean, there's a whole list of other people, and forgive me if I will be here all the whole session if I have to go through all the names, but it was just wonderful, lots of resources. Specifically for the technology Polkadot really offers and the shared security model, that's something that I see as extremely critical to really making blockchain something more usable in day-to-day cases. With a lot of the other let's say systems out there, there's a lot of consideration or even quite a heavy responsibility for them to think through specifically on all the nitty-gritty the details on how to ensure security with the system. But with Polkadot, you have the option, the flexibility to ride on that shared security model and enhance it further. if you would like to do so, or customize it further as you need. But that's something that really excited me about Polkadot specifically. And of course, again, the community, as we mentioned, really fantastic community.
And speaking more about your product, what problem does it solve? And what are you going to launch? So can we dive a bit deeper? Daniel, over to you.
Oh, Dan, do you want me to answer that? Yeah. Sure. So the primary problem we're right now trying to address is how do we go beyond, how do we ensure that the user preserve the user privacies while enabling their interactions and personalization to happen? So there's a kind of a storyline that goes on where people want privacy, but at the same time, they also want certain things, right? Oh, Irina, sorry. Did you want me to continue? I open the floor to Daniel. Sorry.
Yeah, Daniel, can you hear us? I think you're on mute.
Yes, yes. Actually, for our product, we are now doing kind of the ID. Yeah, actually, to preserve the user's privacy, while we can enabling the personalized interactions with the retailer. So what we are now doing is to use the AI agent, yeah, to help us to do such kind of things, yeah. And this is AI driven. So that's what our platform is doing.
And in terms of practical application,
Yeah.
if we talk about business perspective, what industries are you looking to disrupt with this solution? Where can this identity model can be applied, also powered by AI? Are you looking into some real world business, some more Web3 oriented business? Can you a little bit elaborate on this?
Yeah, I can jump on that, Irina, if you like. So we've been spending the past almost year exploring exactly what you mentioned, Irina. And for us, we started by working with retailers specifically, because retailers, in our experience, have the biggest, customers have the biggest demand for personalization. And at the same time, retailers try to take in a lot of data in order to provide that. And what you're able to do, if we find that balance between what users want to share and what retailers can use, is be able to provide a better privacy for the user, and also from the retail side, better opportunities to data management, and also in terms of operation costs, to be able to target the user, to be able to give the users what they want. In the case of what we're in a short and summary, our approach for user privacy is based on user consent and proportionality of use. So retailers is the first use case that we've been focusing on. And the next use case that we're building up on, and this is actually something that came about through PBA, is potentially extending this into the online experience. So extending this into how an individual will be able to interact with their browser, with their own online history. So being able to own your online history, but also at the same time choose what you share with users. And this is accelerated by what we're seeing in the industry right now with Google getting rid of cookies, or trying to, and moving forward to having people connect through them in order to access user data. So we're foresee a different kind of future where data ownership is where user data ownership should be maintained as the key element for protecting and providing user privacy.
Absolutely. This has been a very important topic. Some teams in other ecosystems have been launching pilots with governments, public administration. But Polkadot is really that truly decentralized ecosystem where we can do both decentralized infrastructure, physical infrastructure, as well as decentralized on the level of applications. And I think this is the great value proposition that Polkadot offers, that no matter what solution you build, you always know that it is going to be decentralized because the infrastructure is decentralized. So that gives that security to your end customers that they will have their data, they will have their privacy taken care of. And if we talk about like potentially other cases or your competitors, would you like to kind of draw a parallel of the solutions that already exist, why they're good, why they're bad, and what do you have to offer to improve this type of solutions?
Yeah, so I've been involved on more of the technical aspects, so maybe I can share just a bit more here, and then Dan, you can jump in on the business part if you would like. So I think it goes back to the core difference between us and other solutions. It's how we try to go about providing privacy, which is focused purely on data ownership. I think with other solutions, for example, if you look at Google's Privacy Sandbox, they try to come up with centralized ways to anonymize user data to preserve their privacy. But this again goes back to the issue that it's still being centralized, and you're still relying on the trust in those parties to be able to properly protect or maintain your privacy. We see the same challenge too with like if we're going further down the route, browsers in terms of your interactions online, browsers such as Brave, they also are centralized in terms of the way that they're able to determine and protect your privacy. So our product that's built upon first and foremost what the user is willing to share, and then also letting the users be able to own and maintain their interactions with, at least in our initial pilot, just the retailers themselves. That's a key differentiator that we have compared to our competitors.
Daniel, would you like to add something to this?
Yeah, actually, you know that for the DDI, we are now using the browser extension, in order to make it, to get the data from the users, and the users can own the data and interact with the retailer and the other corporations they would like to use the data. That is the first hand data, is not the first party data is not the third party data. So I think that for the data quality, that will be much more harder, and for the data, it will be good for the data analytics for the other for the researcher and the corporations.
And Daniel, if we talk about the size of your target market, can you give some numbers and estimation about the size, and also how you're going to address this market with your solution?
Yes, actually for DID, you can see to 2021, the market size is just 150 million US dollar, and that's expected to have 78 billion US dollar in 2031. That's in the 10 years time. There is more than 500 to 600 times increase in the market size. And we can see why, because we are now all tired of the cookies. The cookies. Google is now going to get rid of cookies, and most of the marketer is now using cookies to analyze to use for their marketing tools, and they are now finding the effectiveness is now declining. And so that will be the good method, will be an alternative method for the marketer to use a DID. Our solutions.
And what are your plans for the revenue generation? Are you planning to launch as a parachain, as an application, or you're planning to be a service providing business? Can you give us a little bit more insight on that?
Yeah, it's a kind of more likely for the AI data marketplace. Yeah, it's kind of doing a transaction. If there is some kind of transaction, our revenue will be generated from the transaction fees and some subscription model here. And actually, if there is some kind of a partnership with the AI-driven business, yeah, this is these three parts are our revenue streams for the model, for our business model.
Fantastic. And who are the partners you need to potentially address inside of Polkadot ecosystem and outside? Because we have right now 140 people watching us live, which is pretty amazing for the time of the day. So hopefully lots of community members from Hong Kong as well. So as we mentioned, Polkadot is much more than just a technology. It is also the largest decentralized and decentralized autonomous organization with open governance, which raised a lot of excitement across the blockchain industry, as we're now all able to discuss proposals, to discuss what teams are doing, what products are important, what partnerships are important. And there is many more teams who can have access both to funding, to community feedback. So this is why I'm always asking on this pod, who are your ideal partners? Are you looking for investors, for anyone? So your call to action.
I think that for us, collaborations is the main word for our company. Collaborations. Yeah, in every aspect. At this moment, this is a project will lead to have a further development. So, investors and a good team of developers. We are now looking for the collaborations with us to make it happen, to make it too big, right? For that, and this is a B2C model. So we would like to have more influencers coming in, and then to promote our product as well. I think in any aspect, we would like to have partners, to promote our products. John, do you have anything?
I think it's exactly as Daniel was saying. We're trying to target a very large problem, right? And we're also being quite realistic about it. We do need all hands on deck and all the help we can get. And specifically at the moment, we are trying to work with retailers to try to get them to test out a new way of doing things, a new way of working with users, and having the support of the community, and even showing that there's a lot of people are interested in this kind of thing will go a long way for us to be able to at least take the first steps to making sure that there's a new way, this new approach that we're proposing, or specifically the solution that we're providing that allows users to claim ownership of their data is something that is used by any company really that wants to understand users. That shift, in that paradigm shift, that's why we need reach out to the community to express their support for this, or if they're interested in this at least, then we can work on tackling larger and larger problems from there, right? The bigger pies, they say. But right now we just target the retailers. But yeah, any support from the community to express the interest in this would mean a lot. Thank you.
Yes, it's important. Yeah.
Thank you. And I wanted to ask you, what's the feedback you're getting from retailers? What are they most excited about? So when you go and talk to business owners and say, okay, you need this solution for data management and protection, what is their reaction? Are they excited about it? Do they have a pain that they want to solve, or it's something that they more buy as an innovation? It's a cool thing. It's blockchain. There's a lot of buzz around it. So we want to be, we want to dive into this because it's a hot industry, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, absolutely. They think that this solution is can cure their pain points, and they're very exciting on this, especially for the idea. This is a portable, it's a movable. Yeah, it can make a lot of gamification between the merchants, between the retailers from Hong Kong to Switzerland or to Thailand, which is in Web 2 ecosystem. We cannot do it like that. For Web 3, we can do it. Yeah, very it's very convenient for us and convenient and very efficient for us to use a DID to do such kind of gamification between the retailers, and they find that this is a very very useful for them. And then however, there is some time for them to do some kind of adoption, to change. There is some kind of a customer behavior change. So we need to teach the customer. The customer need to learn how to use it with the wallet or without the wallet, to use their DID to own their the customer journey, the consumption journey, and to trade their consumption journey, or even though how to make it more valuable for them to use it.
And speaking specifically about Hong Kong, because we mentioned this at the beginning, that it's very special geographical location where everything is driven by the community and by the community feedback. And looking at some big companies like Amazon and their success happened due to the fact that they moved to the ecosystem approach. They understood that they need to listen to the customer, and the customer is the king, but now actually the community is the new kingmaker. The community is the one that gives you all the feedback that helps you shape your business, helps you shape your decisions. And we are, as an ecosystem, navigating in a very interesting environment where you have your stakeholders, your advocates, your developers, your suppliers, vendors, customers, all on one platform, who can freely interact in Telegram chats, right? Express their opinions on Twitter. And it's very new because everything is now pretty much tied up to customers' reviews. So your business before was operating, maybe locally, just targeting your local community. But nowadays, it's all online. So anyone who wants to check your company will go to your Twitter profile, your Telegram community channel, and not only they will evaluate your website and test your solution, but they will also seek community feedback. So how does this also translate in Hong Kong? What do people do when they want to check the company or they want to join the community? Do they use the same channels and tools that we use in Europe? Like, would you build your community on Telegram, or would you collect their feedback on your website or Twitter, or is that WeChat or other tools where Hong Kong community is gathering and giving you feedback? Or generally, just not about your specific business, in general, your partners, where do they interact and connect with the community?
Yeah, I think quite similar with what you are talking about in Europe and in Western world. Yeah, Hong Kong, for the Hong Kong people, they get used to the WhatsApp, internet, Instagram. They will have formed their own community. They will share the information together. Yeah, such like when you go to the market. Yeah, the food market. There is some kind of that's a very good taste food for them. Yeah, they will share this kind of information. Yeah, with each other. Yeah, I think this is quite similar with the Western world.
I'd just like to add, so one thing that's pretty, like this is actually one of the more exciting opportunities about Hong Kong is a lot of the way things work, the business practice of go-to-market, they're quite similar to how you may be used to doing it first. but at the same time, you can reach into the larger Chinese community across the border. For Hong Kong itself, also there is one little quirk that may be a little bit different, which is that it's still as big as Hong Kong is in terms of for its size, it's still a relatively run around tight knit communities. So so sometimes when you want to do the market research or reach out to people, it's more of a, in some ways, just direct reach out or text some people. So as an example, when I used to work to get some market information from people, the people who were, I guess, using the more Western approach would do analytics, would do all these things, but actually they could all be achieved really quickly. So my local person I was working with managed to get the report out to us within half a day, because he was able to just directly call into his contacts and just pull in the data as needed. So that's one of the little quirks in Hong Kong, because it's still there's such tight-knit communities in here that you can really quickly access the resources and get the information that you need. And the same even for outreach. Word of mouth also has quite significant gains here too, even though a lot of the practices are still very much in line with how you would normally go about it.
Yeah, actually, in Hong Kong, there's a very good access to China, mainland China. Yeah, and we can get very easy to get information from China and exchange the message. Yeah, and so I think this will be the advantage for Hong Kong. For China, there's a population of 1.4 billion people, and there's a big market. Everyone knows that. So there will be a very special and advantage for the place, a small place in Hong Kong. Yeah.
And Daniel, when we talk about scaling and really reaching out and targeting this larger market and going to mainland China from Hong Kong, what are the challenges and opportunities, and how are you planning to address that?
Yeah, I think I think for the people in China, mainland China, that they like Web3, yeah, and the governments from China and Hong Kong is also promoting Web3 applications. One thing is more important is for the compliance issue, in both areas, because when we would like to do the tokenization, to use the tokens in these two areas, we need to do some type of compliance checking, and when we are using the Web3 applications there, I think there's some type of legal issues we need to tackle it. But this is not the main hurdles for us for the development in these two areas, because the two governments, the mainland China's government and the Hong Kong government, is now supporting, and for the Hong Kong government is now would like to be the Web3 hub in Asia, and so they would have a 120% support for the development of Web3 applications, in Hong Kong, and would like to have more use cases, for that kind of applications.
And on this note, I promised that I'm going to do an announcement during this this live event, and many of you know that with the PBA going to Hong Kong, the next PBA, which is actually the applications are closing in 15 days. So if you're applying for Founders Track or Technical Track remote, please consider applying and submitting your application in the next week or so. And the next cohort is happening in Singapore. So really, Polkadot community is going back to China. We just had Sub-Zero in Thailand, and there are many more events that will be happening in Asia this year, in Southeast Asia in particular. And I want to invite everybody who is watching us, especially those based in Hong Kong, to a meetup with Gate.io Hong Kong in room 2704 in Sino Plaza, Gloucester Road, Causeway Bay. And we're going to have there Sebastian Barget from Sandbox, Max Zeng, co-founder of BFG from Germany, and a secret speaker from the Polkadot ecosystem. And please stay tuned, subscribe to our media, because a pretty big announcement is coming out very, very soon, because Polkadot is doubling down on its presence in Asia. And
Wow.
on this note,
It's great. It's great.
I also invite Daniel, you and John to join the meetup and connect with the local community. And of course, we'll connect for the details after the pod. And
looking forward.
I wanted to move on to the next question and ask you about your long-term goals. Like with this thriving ecosystem, with the promise of $16 trillion in tokenized assets in the next sort of 10 years, Polkadot ecosystem thriving and changing to Jam, Agile core, and being really cutting edge technology. What are you looking at? What are you most excited for? And what are your long-term plans for the next sort of 10 years to come?
I leave it to John because John has know more about PBA, right?
I think the most exciting thing, I guess, in the next 10 years, especially with the way that, as you mentioned, for Jam and Polkadot's development, we're looking forward to really seeing Web3 be mass adopted and seeing it in some ways become something that is, when people log into the website they're choosing or people interact with different applications, they're not necessarily looking at whether on the back, what happens on the back end or what's really happening. Right? So I really look forward to that being the direction in the next 10 years, and even for our product itself to eventually just be part of, the background noise for people when they're doing their day-to-day interactions. And I think Polkadot and the direction that they're going forward is really set to allow and support that kind of mass adoption to happen.
Exactly.
Daniel, and also you mentioned about regulations and challenges in the regulatory landscape. However, if you approach the business from the blockchain infrastructure perspective, so you're offering essentially to bring blockchain to business to really revolutionize, somehow modernize the supply chain, right? Because all our transactions, when we purchase goods, they need to be shipped to us. So it's really a big supply chain challenge that we are solving with the Web3. So where do you see supply chain industry in Hong Kong, in China, being interested perhaps in Web3 adoption? And how is your feeling about just general Web3 environment and development in the next 10 years? What are the main indicators?
I think that the application for supply chain in Hong Kong and China is a big opportunities, right? And we have already talked to the government agency, about how to use the supply chain to assist a particular products in Hong Kong. For actually, for the blockchain using the supply chain, that will not only help for the recording, for the immutable records and the transparency, and so it can also do the brand building for a particular product, because we have the very good preference proof, very good recording, for a particular product. So it will be quite different. It's a quite disruptive method for the product to use the blockchain, the supply chain, to the brand from the very beginning. It's not only to the intermediary. It's from the very beginning. For example, if there's a pig, from a farm, we can also have a brand for that kind of farm. Is that right? But now for the Web2 is now maybe there will be some brand to source the pigs from some kind of the farms, and there will be the brand for that corporations. For Web3, we can brand it in the farm itself. Yeah, from in the very beginning of the product. Yeah, so it's very interesting, and the market is very huge. Governments in Hong Kong, in China, every city of China is now searching for the solutions with blockchain to enhance the supply chain. Yeah, in order to lower cost, lower risk, to have a brand building for a particular farm which is doing well. Yeah, that's it.
This is very good news for everybody who are looking for B2G relationships, because with government backing up government initiatives, we're hoping to see more of these, particularly in Hong Kong, as being Central Asian hub, financial hub traditionally of the world, and so many bright creative minds gathering in this unique location, and really pushing innovation.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Daniel, so as a founder, I wanted to ask you, as a founder in the blockchain space, what is your advice to aspiring founders, for everybody who will be applying to the next Polkadot Blockchain Academy, who will be joining our ecosystem, who are maybe doing their first steps in business? Advice to them.
Nowadays is the eruption of a Web3 volcano, right? It's a eruption of Web3 volcano, and the ash is now spreading throughout the digital landscape. And for the dominant features and the functionalities of Web2 is now gradually eaten by the transformative power of Web3. So there's an immense opportunity, many opportunities for the entrepreneurs to migrate existing Web2 applications to Web3 ecosystem. Yeah, such like RWA tokenization. In Hong Kong or in China, we are now looking for the opportunities, and we now using RWA tokenization to help for the ownership transfer, for the ownership to be tokenized here, to make the transaction to be more flexible, more convenient for the owners of the properties, of the other assets. Yeah, that will be a great opportunities for the Web3 developers to migrate the Web2 applications. Yeah, like that.
Thank you, Daniel. John, from your experience at PBA, you met aspiring founders in person. You were one of them recently doing the course. So what would be your message to the founders?
I think it's a great time to be in the industry. Polkadot has gone all in to support builders right now. So it's also, as Daniel mentioned, this is kind of the inflection point where we're seeing more, even in Hong Kong itself, more all-in support for opportunities provided by Web3 and all the opportunities it has to enhance the previous Web2 infrastructures and applications. So there's a huge opportunity here. So yeah, it's a really good time to be in this space, to be builder and to be working to solve the problems. Because I think the question now is not whether Web3 or blockchain has a role in the future. It's how fast and how deep the adoption will be.
Thank you, John. And for both of you, a question. From your personal experience, what was your main challenge when starting the business? So this advice for anybody who is looking to start a business now, what should they pay attention to the most? And if any like anecdote or personal story you can share with us, that would be great.
Maybe the concept is too advanced, yeah, too early. If there is the adoption from the market is not ready, and your product is made, and then you will pay a lot of effort to tell the market how your product's good. Yeah, how to make the products to be durable in the market at this moment. I think yeah, for Web3, there's a lot of ideas, a lot of applications we are now developing. Um, However, we need to make the market know how to use it, how to change the user's behavior. Yeah, for to adopt the Web3 is a good product. It's a good product. It's a good innovation. Um, but it's just kind of a people in Web3 would like to know. And for the people in Web 2, still in Web 2, or even in Web 1.0 people, how can we get them to adopt to the market? I think this is we need to have a partner with some kind of a government agency, some kind of organizations like Polkadot, yeah, to do more training, to more talking to the community, yeah. I mean, the community is not only the Web3 community. Is the community? Is the community? Is the popular for the people? Yeah, how to use broad Web3 applications. Yeah, in order to make the adoption for the Web3 applications to be wider. Yeah, I think that this is the most challenging part for every Web3 developer nowadays.
I can share an anecdote just to jump off Daniel. So early on, in order to meet some of these challenges, one of the more interesting challenges that we worked on was just getting people to even, at a very basic level, just try to test out MetaMask and understand it. So we actually worked with a user group of about 50 to 72 years old, and we got about we were working with a insurance group at that time, senior management of insurance group members, to just help them understand a bit more what the technology means. And it took a bit of effort, but after 1 month, we got them to be able to onboard to MetaMask. So that's just a small slice, an anecdote of just some of the early challenges we have to get people to understand the system and try it out.
Thank you, John. Yes, MetaMask is one type of a challenge. Polkadot GS is another type of a challenge. But I have a good news for you. If you download Telenova, which is a wallet developed by Nova team in Polkadot ecosystem, you will see how super easy it is to join Telegram, to interact with the bot, and to register your crypto wallet on Telegram. So things are progressing pretty quickly. We are in a very exciting stage of development in Polkadot ecosystem when it's becoming more and more user-friendly. Technology becomes easier. There are many more materials that you can access. You can follow Polkadot Blockchain Academy for talks, interviews, content. You can read Polkadot Wikipedia. You can, of course, follow us on Twitter. And you can follow media like the Kusamarian with interviews, live interviews from multiple locations, such as Sub-Zero, PBA. So there's plenty of content, plenty of information for you to dive into Polkadot. And of course, reach out to someone like myself, who is Polkadot head ambassador for Western Europe. Find your local community, find your local ambassadors. We are here to help, support, educate, guide, and really make this an exciting space for everybody to be in. And we have about 6 minutes left. And guys who are watching, we have now 195 people. Thank you for joining. It's pretty exciting. If you have any questions, please drop us a comment. We'll try to answer in the next 5 minutes. And to wrap up, John, Daniel, where can community follow you? What are your next steps, announcements? Who are you looking to connect in the nearest future? Shall we follow you on social media, websites, your personal profiles? Where are you most active? Because now everybody will be, of course, keeping an eye on your developments and want to connect. So where should we look for updates?
Yeah, so right now we're pretty excited. We're doing a little bit of a revamp with our overall branding and outreach. So the best way to reach us at the moment is just reach out to Daniel I directly. And we look forward to also share with the community once we've updated our branding, and then we'll, we look forward to hearing from everyone through our LinkedIn profiles. But we'll give you guys also an update as soon as we get everything sorted in our branding. Thanks, guys.
What is the best way to follow you? On X, Twitter, on LinkedIn, or perhaps do you have any like local channels such as WeChat, which we know are popular? So what's the best one to find you?
Yeah, I think that we can be reached out by LinkedIn. Yeah, it's actually just contact me. Yeah, remember TTI. Contact me. That's okay.
TTI, and please check the business case for Polkadot. You will have all the information about the founders, all the links to their media profiles, and follow us, stay up to date. We are coming live every month with amazing founders who are sharing their stories, sharing their business models, advice, wisdom with you guys. And on this note, Daniel, I want you to go first with the closing remarks, and then John.
Yeah, I think for Web3, Web3 is like nowadays smartphone. Everyone cannot live without a smartphone. So we need to come to Web3 to do the applications. Yeah, with the decentralization, immutability, transparency. I think every features the audience will note every features of Web3, but we need to use it. We need to apply this kind of features of Web3 in order to make us to have a better living. Yeah, to have better living, lower cost, lower risk.
Closing remarks, guys. We're on this together. We're trying to claim back, push to do things a different way. So we definitely want everyone to be on board with the movement of data ownership and sharing your voice to tell the people, the established industries, that we want things a bit different and we want to claim back your data. So that's my main thing. So thanks again for the time, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Daniel, John, appreciate your sharing your experience and details on your project. We will make sure to follow you and to support you as Polkadot community. And on this note, thank you, everyone. Please follow us on social media and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.